There's rumors floating out there that Bitcoin was created by the CIA.
You know, the first paper on crypto was written by 3 NSA guys.
And in recent interviews, high-ranking officials in the CIA say that they're excited about Bitcoin.
CIA thinking about Bitcoin.
Well, just like law enforcement, I guess, we are excited as well because, people may have thought Bitcoin was anonymous, but I'd say it's pseudonymous, right? It's not truly anonymous.
Okay, I bet you're probably freaking out right now. Is Bitcoin just a small and controlled experiment by the elites to suck in all of our money and then use it to fund their own authoritarian regime? The elites won't truly let a new monetary system take over, will they? Let's start to explore this topic today. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. Let's go. I want to start this video out with a broad comment about the talking heads who always point out the fact that cryptography was created by the NSA and the CIA, which means somehow they will shut it down. Not everything that's said by every person is actually true.
I don't think so. The crypto community, I am their number one target. They say you are a hodler. And I won't buy it. And the reason is because I believe that several layers. One is that I believe that the authorities are not going to let crypto take over.
Of course not.
And by the way, that means that
they're going to lose total control over society.
That's right.
I don't think so.
You think the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds are going to hand it over to Max Kaiser and Michael Saylor? I don't think so. Right?
Oh, you don't think
Here's
that's
what
likely.
I think it actually is. You know, the first paper on crypto was written by 3 NSA guys.
Yeah.
That means I think if I were smart and I were going to bring in central bank digital currency, which is an authoritarian nightmare, I would do it the way they did. I'd release the crypto. I'd have guys pumping it. I'd have guys supporting it. I'd let them debug the networks and the kinks and acclimate people to it. And then I'd say, okay, it was fun. We'll take it from here.
And in the process, of course, you acclimate people to this new
digital world,
new kind of commerce. Yeah, exactly.
Let me start with a foundational concept as to why this is patently false. Was mathematics created by authoritarian governments and central bankers, or did it predate them altogether? The mathematics is simple. It's not within the jurisdiction of the United States government. Mathematics is simply language put around universal truths that we've codified in order for us to help make sense of the world and how it actually works. Bitcoin, the network, is simply code that we've written in order to help us make sense of money, a monetary technology that requires proof of work without a central party in between that allows multiple parties to transact value on the internet. It's openly free for anyone and everyone to see. Yes, even the government. The purpose of cryptography in the first place was that it was public defense. Military-grade defense that's embedded into the fabric of everything that we do today. It protects the payment information that flows every single time you make a transaction, every email that you send, every website that you log into with your password. This isn't magical. It's not just cryptography that protects people from stealing your password, from deflating away fiat currencies, and allows us to save our value that we've worked hard for. The idea that certain kinds of compute, like Bitcoin mining versus cat AI generators, are somehow worse than others is going by the wayside. Code is code and language is language. We all have access to it, and none of it in its original form and intent is malicious. The US Justice Department even believes so. It says that it won't target large software developers who create decentralized crypto platforms without criminal intent. And this is a major shift in an enforcement approach. Writing code isn't a crime, according to the new Attorney General. The CIA says that they understand Bitcoin and they need to understand it more and more. They need to use it as a weapon or as a tool against their adversaries.
One of the things I always am shocked by is people talk about it as a tool for the bad people.
Right.
But also it could be a tool for the good people as well, right? And so whether it's Bitcoin or stable coins or anything else, CIA has a lot of payments probably that are going all over the world, as do many large organizations. And so is that how you guys kind of use as a framework for all of technology, is like it can be a tool or it can be a weapon against us, and we want to be good at using it, but also understand how our enemies are using it against us?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned, right, we use technology as a tool, right? And Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are another tool in the toolbox. It's also a target, right? So it's something we can use to, we can disrupt our adversaries' use of it, and we can use these technologies to collect more intelligence, to gather more information about them. So yeah, I think, in that respect, Bitcoin is actually very similar to other sort of advanced technologies, and one that we have to that we have to prioritize. And again, it comes back to, there's a little bit of a generational shift from the cultural shift going on that Director Ratcliffe and I are leading the way on at CIA right now. Not everyone in the government has these attitudes around new technologies, right? People are sort of trapped in older mindsets sometimes. And we have to break through that and realize, this isn't just this idea that cryptocurrency is for people with something to hide. It's just not right.
It's a protocol for money, no different than HTTPS, the Hypertext Transfer Protocol Service, SMTP, the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol Service, or any other protocol that we use every single day. They allow us to transmit information without a central party in between. Point in case, Jack Dorsey creating BitChat, a mesh network that leverages cryptography to allow people to send messages anonymously between one another via Bluetooth. The same protocols and relays that allow us to create wallets and share information about the blockchain or information stored on the blockchain are also valuable in communication. The government isn't anti-Bitcoin, and the government isn't anti-freedom. It recognizes the need for freedom, especially in the United States. And Bitcoin is one of the greatest hopes that we have in order to cement ourselves with the tools and technology to guard against an authoritarian regime that was mentioned earlier.
We got a new poll, and it shows 25% of Republican men do invest in crypto. 16% of Democrat men invest in crypto. Why? That's interesting, isn't it? Why does crypto appeal to men, conservative men?
Well, the interesting thing there is why does it appeal to Republicans more than Democrats? It's freedom money. That's why. A person can be truly a sovereign individual if they own Bitcoin. It is digital gold. They can transact with people all over the world. It's very important if you're in a country with a corrupt government, such as Venezuela. You can transact around the world in Bitcoin without your government's involvement. So I get why Republicans in particular are more bought into the notion of Bitcoin and digital assets. Why men and not women? That one I can't answer. I'm certainly of a mind to believe that digital assets are going to make life better. It's going to make it easier to transact, faster and cheaper. And usually women who are in charge of the house checkbook want to do things faster and cheaper. So I want to encourage other women, look at digital assets.
Okay.
Bitcoin is money that can't be stopped. Saying you can stop Bitcoin is like saying you can stop the internet or email. That piece of FUD has sailed a long time ago. The network will continue to operate whether the United States government says that it can or it will or not. There are no back doors for the CIA to get in and to disrupt the blockchain. TikTok next block. Before we go any further, let's go to our sponsors. Ledn has been the leader in Bitcoin-backed loans since 2018, and they allow you to unlock liquidity in your Bitcoin without selling your Bitcoin. Just like you don't sell your home, you borrow from your home using a home equity line of credit. Think of this as an equity line of credit from your Bitcoin, which is to continue to go up in value every single year, making the money that you borrow against it be less and less against the value of the hard asset. Get started by going to learn.ledn.io. The application process takes just 2 minutes and you can get your account funded in less than 6 hours. The process is fast, simple, seamless, and transparent, and that's why they have over 1,000 5-star customer reviews. Go to learn.ledn.io/simply to get started. Another way that you can protect your Bitcoin and do so privately, anonymously, not just pseudonymously, is by learning how to take self-custody of your Bitcoin the right way and properly. And there are proven ways that you can do this, but you can't just go at it alone. You need to get a coach. So go to thebitcoinway.com/simplybitcoin to schedule a free 30-minute consultation with their team. The government is not only actively recognizing the importance of it, they're actively allowing us to try to get our money in more ways that we can get our money into buying more and more of it. Like $60 trillion worth of assets that are in 401ks that can soon start to flow into Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, let's hit that before I let you run. I mean, what do you make of it? It topped what, 120 or so, and then it's been pulling back of late. Now, maybe that's correlated to growth and momentum and a little rollover as we've seen it there. Do you think that is the case? And what is your outlook from here?
I do think there's some correlation there. I think a lot of it has to do with Secretary Bessent's interview on Thursday. when he said the U.S. wouldn't be buying Bitcoin or wasn't planning on it in the near term. And then he later tried to walk that back via social media and said he would do it. They would explore budget neutral ways to do it. But I think sellers are missing the forest for the trees here. If you look at 2 days before that interview, the Fed actually ended their supervisory program on novel activities, which effectively means crypto banks. And then a week prior to that, President Trump signed an executive order directing the Department of Labor to rescind prior guidance that effectively kept everyone in retirement plans out of digital assets. There's still legislative work that needs to be done there, but that's massive news. So there are 60 trillion worth of assets globally in retirement accounts with zero allocation right now to digital assets. Every 1% allocation from that 60 trillion adds $30,000 to Bitcoin's price. And so from my perspective, a 2% allocation would be conservative when you consider that all of those assets are currently in a monetary framework whose authorities have told you they want to depreciate it by 2% a year. So why wouldn't those accounts stick 2% of everything denominated in a melting ice cube and stick it in another protocol altogether? So again, that alone would take us to Bitcoin at 175K, or up more than 50% from here. We still think we are incredibly early. We're still seeing early signs of institutional adoption. You look at Norges, the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, almost $2 trillion in assets, has been increasing its exposure to Bitcoin digital assets. It's still a rounding error for them. But when the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, the world's largest endowment in Harvard is now buying Bitcoin, starts to do it, that opens up the door for all the other relevant parties, other endowments, other sovereign wealth funds to do this in a very interesting way. So, we think we're very early in the dominoes falling. Most of the world has zero allocation digital assets still, and we think there's a very long roadway ahead of us.
All right, we'll see you soon.
And as more and more people put a percentage of their paycheck into Bitcoin every week or every 2 weeks, well, the supply or the available supply of this scarce asset is going to continue to shrink. 95% of the total supply of Bitcoin will be up this year, and 99% in 10 years after that. And this is why people like Michael Saylor believe that Bitcoin is always on sale. If you believe the dollar will continue to slide, and if you believe that we need a digital technology against our adversaries, then what better technology is there against the largest, most decentralized, most powerful encrypted computer technology in the world in Bitcoin, which we so far have the largest head start with. The world is going to be built on Bitcoin technology.
If you're looking for solutions in a world where dollar dominance slides, our adversaries aren't holding treasuries like they used to, maybe the rest of the world has decided that they want to de-risk a little bit from their US holdings and don't want to have their national wealth stored in a bank in New York City. What are the options? And this is the kinds of things CIA will think about. What are the options? Where these actors go? Where do we go? Bitcoin is a natural option. It's digital. It fits in the modern world. You can self-custody it. It's permissionless. These are the sorts of things when you sort of game out and red team, where will the world go? Or for example, how do we compete with China, right? Which is building their sort of parallel system in the world. What are our options for building a backdrop, building a set of options to deal with that? Bitcoin's a natural option.
I know what technology I'm investing my time and money into. How about you? One of the ways that you can invest into your Bitcoin journey is by continuing to learn more and more about the network, not just whether the CIA built the Bitcoin protocol or not. Unlikely. You can also learn about the machines and the hardware and the miners that are the accountants of the network by coming down to the largest Bitcoin mining expo in the world at Mining Disrupt, happening in Dallas, Texas from November 11th through November 13th. Get 20% off your ticket by using the promo code SimplyBitcoin. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. Happy stacking and have a great week.